If your lawn looks patchy, thin, or just sad no matter how much you mow it, chances are you're making one of these 5 mistakes. And mistake number 3, almost every single beginner gets it wrong, including me when I first started. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's holding your lawn back. And more importantly, how to fix it without spending a fortune or hiring a lawn service. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is the place where we break down lawn care in a way that's actually simple, no confusing jargon, no expensive equipment you don't need, just real fixes for real lawns. If that sounds like your kind of channel, stick around, because today we're covering the 5 most common mistakes that are quietly wrecking your lawn. Let's start with the mistake almost everyone makes without even realizing it: mowing your grass too short. I get it. A freshly buzzed lawn looks clean. It looks done. But here's the problem: when you cut your grass too short, you're not just trimming the top. You're putting your entire lawn under stress. This is called scalping, and it's one of the fastest ways to weaken your grass from the roots up. Here's why it matters. Grass grows energy through photosynthesis, using its blades like little solar panels. When you cut those blades too short, you're taking away the lawn's ability to produce energy. That means weaker roots, slower recovery, and a lawn that becomes way more vulnerable to weeds, drought, and disease. Basically, you're doing the exact opposite of what you're trying to achieve. So what's the right height? It actually depends on your grass type, but here's a simple rule you can use no matter where you live: never cut more than 1/3 of the grass blade's height in a single mow. So if your grass is at 3 inches, don't cut it down to 1 inch, take it down to 2 inches instead. For most cool season grasses, the kind common in northern regions, you want to keep your lawn somewhere between 2.5 and 4 inches tall. For warm season grasses in southern regions, you can go a bit shorter, usually between 1 and 3 inches depending on the specific type. One more tip here: keep your mower blade sharp. A dull blade doesn't cut grass, it rips it. And ripped grass tips turn brown and become an easy target for disease. If your lawn has a slightly brownish tint a day or 2 after mowing, that's usually your first clue that your blade needs sharpening. Fixing this one mistake alone can completely change the health of your lawn within just a few weeks. It's simple, it's free, and it's the foundation everything else builds on. Mistake number 2 is all about watering, and this is where I see the most confusion. There's this common belief that watering your lawn a little bit every single day is the secret to a green lawn. It makes sense on the surface, right? More water, greener grass. But that's actually one of the worst things you can do. When you water lightly every day, the moisture only soaks the very top layer of soil. Your grass roots have no reason to grow deep, because everything they need is right there at the surface. Over time, this creates shallow root systems, and shallow roots mean a lawn that dries out fast, struggles in heat, and becomes far more vulnerable during any kind of dry spell. On the flip side, some people go the opposite direction and barely water at all, especially during the hotter months, and then wonder why their lawn is turning brown and crunchy. So what's the right approach? The rule most lawn experts agree on is simple: water deeply, but infrequently. That usually means giving your lawn about 1 to 1.5 inches of water per week, split across 2 or 3 watering sessions, not 7. Here's a trick to know if you're watering enough. Push a screwdriver into your lawn after watering. If it slides in easily to about 6 inches deep, your soil is getting properly saturated. If it stops after just an inch or 2, you need to water longer, but less often. Timing matters too. Water early in the morning, ideally before 9 a.m. This gives the grass time to absorb what it needs before the heat of the day causes evaporation, and it helps the grass blades dry out before evening, which reduces the risk of fungus and disease. Watering at night might feel convenient, but it leaves your lawn damp overnight. And that's basically an open invitation for fungal problems. Get the watering right, and you'll notice your lawn becomes noticeably more resilient especially during those unpredictable summer weeks. All right, here's the mistake I promised you at the beginning, the one almost every beginner overlooks completely: ignoring your soil. Think about it this way. Your grass is basically a reflection of what's happening underground. You can mow perfectly, water perfectly, even fertilize on schedule, but if your soil is compacted, nutrient poor, or has the wrong pH, none of that other stuff will matter much. It's like trying to build a house on a shaky foundation. Let's talk about compaction first. Over time, foot traffic, pets, kids playing, even regular mowing can compress your soil. Compacted soil makes it incredibly hard for water, air, and nutrients to reach the root zone. Your grass ends up struggling to breathe. Basically, the fix for this is something called aeration, where you pull small plugs of soil out of your lawn to relieve that compaction. You don't need a fancy machine for a small yard. There are simple manual aerators you can rent or buy affordably. Once or twice a year, especially in fall or early spring, is usually enough for most lawns. Next, let's talk about soil testing, because this is the step almost nobody does, and it's honestly a game changer. A basic soil test tells you your soil's pH level and nutrient content. Most grass types thrive in a slightly acidic to neutral pH, somewhere around 6.2 to 7. If your soil is too acidic or too alkaline, your grass literally can't absorb the nutrients it needs, even if you're fertilizing correctly. It's like pouring vitamins into your body that your stomach can't process. You can get an affordable soil test kit online, or in many areas, your local agricultural extension office will test it for a small fee, and honestly, that route often gives you more detailed, useful results. Once you know your soil's pH and nutrient levels, you can actually fix problems instead of guessing. If your soil is too acidic, adding lime can help balance it out. If it's too alkaline, sulfur-based amendments can bring it down. And this one simple test can save you months of frustration trying to figure out why your lawn just won't grow no matter what you do. Healthy soil is honestly the most underrated part of lawn care. Fix your soil, and everything else becomes so much easier. Mistake number 4 is about fertilizer specifically, applying it at the wrong time of year. A lot of beginners assume that fertilizer is fertilizer, and as long as you're putting something down, you're helping your lawn. But timing actually matters just as much as the product itself. Apply fertilizer at the wrong time, and at best you're wasting money. At worst, you're actually damaging your lawn. Here's the simple version. For cool season grasses, the best time to fertilize is in early fall, with a second lighter application in spring if needed. Fall is when cool season grass is naturally building root strength and storing energy for winter, so feeding it during this window gives you the biggest payoff. For warm season grasses, the timing flips. You want to fertilize in late spring through summer, when the grass is actively growing, and avoid fertilizing in fall or winter when it's naturally going dormant. A mistake I see constantly is people fertilizing heavily right before a heat wave, thinking they're helping their stressed lawn recover. In reality, this can burn the grass and add even more stress during a time when the lawn is already struggling. Fertilizer pushes growth, and growth requires water and energy resources your lawn might not have during extreme heat. Also, less is often more here. Over-fertilizing doesn't give you a greener lawn faster. It often leads to weak, floppy growth that's more prone to disease. And it can even burn your grass if applied too heavily. Always follow the recommended application rate on the product, and when in doubt, use less rather than more. If you're not sure what type of grass you have cool season or warm season, I've actually got a full video breaking that down. I'll link it up above and in the description, because that one decision affects almost everything else you do to your lawn throughout the year. Get your fertilizer timing right, and you'll see stronger, steadier growth instead of quick bursts followed by stress and dieback. And finally, mistake number 5. Ignoring bare or thin spots and just hoping they'll fill in on their own. Here's the truth: grass doesn't really spread sideways to fill in bald patches, at least not quickly or reliably. So if you've got a thin or bare area and you just keep mowing around it hoping it'll magically thicken up, you could be waiting years. And honestly, it might just get worse as weeds move in to fill that empty space instead. The fix here is overseeding, which simply means spreading new grass seed over your existing lawn, especially in those thin or bare areas, to help thicken things up. The best time to overseed depends on your grass type again. For cool season grasses, early fall is ideal. The soil is still warm, the air is cooling down, and there's less weed competition. For warm season grasses, late spring into early summer works best, when the soil has warmed up and the grass is actively growing. A quick process: lightly rake the bare area to loosen the top layer of soil, spread your grass seed evenly, then add a thin layer of compost or topsoil over it to help retain moisture. Water lightly but consistently, usually once or twice a day for the first couple weeks, until you see new growth coming in. Once it's established, you can transition back to your normal deep, infrequent watering routine. This one simple habit, overseeding thin spots once or twice a year, can be the difference between a lawn that looks patchy forever and one that fills in thick and healthy. All right, let's do a quick recap because that was a lot of information. Mistake 1: mowing too short and stressing your grass instead of helping it. Mistake 2: watering too often but too lightly instead of deep and infrequent. Mistake 3: ignoring your soil health, which is honestly the foundation of everything. Mistake 4: fertilizing at the wrong time of year for your grass type. And mistake 5: letting bare spots sit there instead of overseeding them. Fix even 2 or 3 of these, and I promise you'll start noticing a real difference within just a few weeks. Now, if your lawn currently has some bald or bare patches, I actually made a full, dedicated video walking through exactly how to fix those step by step. I'll drop that link right up here and in the description. So go check that out next. If this video helped you out, do me a favor and hit subscribe. I'm putting out lawn care videos regularly, all focused on simple, affordable fixes that actually work. And if you've got a lawn question you want answered, drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.